Welcome back to Get the Shot. My name's Talia. I'm filling in for Joe because he is sick. I'm here with Bonnie, my beautiful photographer. You take some amazing portrait and fashion photography. I've been a fan of yours for such a long time, and I think you're just so awesome. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Bonnie. I go by Bonn Creative for a lot of the creative works that I do. I mainly work in portraits and fashion photography, and like to dabble and get my mitts on like whole other different types of like multimedia art as well.
I've been such a fan of your work for such a long time. There's something about it when I look at it. It's like seeing pictures where the photographer's not there. If you know what I mean, it's like you're capturing these things like I don't know how to capture. They're beautiful and very candid, and throughout your fashion and your portraits. Like, how do you go about doing that, or is it just come naturally?
Yeah, I think that in like trying to create a sense of a scene and something, that doesn't feel like a forced image, if that's kind of what you mean. Like it doesn't feel like there was like all of the work that goes into creating it. I think a big thing that helped me get there was incorporating shooting film in my practice. I think for me personally, when I look at my own work, the images that I feel get as close to that as I've ever gotten are probably some of my film images. And I think that has a lot to do with how it just forces you to completely slow down. Usually you're on a tripod as well, so you're narrowing down all of the possibilities and options that you could possibly make by, maybe having a prime, being on a tripod, and just it not necessarily being like, oh, I'm just going to take a bunch and see if something lands. It's like, I have one shot at this. Yeah. So that's helped, I suppose.
Like limiting yourself is like a bit of a challenge, and I love your work. I feel like you capture things so beautifully. When you plan out a shoot, like a fashion photography shoot, how much of that is pre-planning, or like what comes or if there's something that comes naturally?
Yeah, I think it can, I guess, depend on, what maybe it's for and how large the project is. For larger projects, and if I'm collaborating with a designer, usually I like them to really take the reins when it comes to the creative direction of the shoot, because it's essentially just a continuation of the story that they're telling. It's giving, what maybe is a physical piece of art a place to live digitally. And so I think I'll take a bit more of a backseat when it comes to the creative side, but I'll be the one that kind of pipes in with like, okay, how do we practically make this happen? And I think I'm very much the kind of photographer that I don't like overthinking shoots too much. I will have like my kit and be like, cool, with everything I have in here, we'll make something work. I've always been a shocker at like, lighting diagrams and planning. I'm just like, I want to see kind of what comes and what feels right. But then on the flip side of that, when we think about things like my own personal work and stuff that I've done for me, like that will definitely dive into a bit more of like a detailed planning space. If it's maybe a more story-driven image, or it's something that I just feel really needs particular colors, or I like a lot of like vibrancy in my work, so I'll spend time kind of thinking about like how I can kind of make it this kind of vibrant space. But yeah.
Could you walk us through one of your favorite campaigns or shoots?
I sometimes find there's like certain photos that just kind of like etch their way into being like, no matter how old they are, I still really love them, which is like pretty rare for majority of my work, because I think I'm very much like everyone in the arts, I think we can be really hard on ourselves, but I think it's a good thing, because if you're constantly looking at your work saying like it's not the best, then it means that like you're making progress forward. If I can look back on my work even 6 months ago and be like, I'm doing better stuff now, it means I'm getting better. But one of the photos that like stuck out as it's still a favorite, even though it's a couple years old. We were shooting a campaign for a really gorgeous brand called Lost Little Ones. They make these really beautiful bags, and we were shooting kind of out past Torquay Way at this beach, and the sun was going down. I was doing stills whilst video was being shot. So when you're doing that, you kind of just have to make do with like what's happening in front of you, especially when you're on a time crunch. No one's going to make time for like stills to be shot. You just have to go. If I can like paint a picture, there was this like kind of hillscape going towards like a cliff that then faces the ocean, and we had 4 talent that were just kind of running with the bags through that hillscape area. And I remember being like knee deep in like those coastal bushes, Aussie coastal bushes, trying not to fall over, and just getting them as they were running across, and that being like, okay, we got it. And I think everyone who's, you know, taken photos in those like high energy environments, you just get that rush of adrenaline when you're like, I got it, like it's there. You pray to God nothing happens to your SD card because you've got this thing with you now. So yeah, that has like a special place to me, and it was also the beginning of like a really beautiful relationship with that brand. I went on to do a lot of shoots with them, and yeah, it was just great.
Yeah, I know the exact picture you're talking about, because I was looking at it before and I was like, whoa, this is just like, this is kind of the photographer not being there kind of thing. I feel like I'm seeing a beautiful moment and you're capturing it, and it was just so amazing and stunning and organic. I love that picture.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to be able to see it unfold, and honestly, like, we had such a good team. Like, that was a really hectic shoot day. I think it was like a 14-hour day. That was right towards the end of it, but it was complete props to like when you've got amazing talent who are just gonna like click, and they really want to immerse themselves in the fact that these were like 4 friends pretending to go on a road trip, but at the end of this day, like, I think a part of them kind of believed that they were, you know, reaching the destination of their road trip, and that energy coming through and them just, you know, committing to that. I mean, when you've got that, everything else plays in. I mean, it's also why, like, I really love working with performers. So people who do have, you know, maybe it's like acting backgrounds, or even models that are just really comfortable kind of getting into like weird headspaces to push a concept. That makes me really excited.
I love that. It's kind of like all artists helping each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love you being able to capture that friendship in those photos. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, thanks. I think it has so much to do with, yeah, that collaboration for sure. Like, I think as a photographer on set, when there isn't like other artists like videographers and other team coordinating it, a lot of people, I suppose, in a way, like look to you and be like, cool, what are we doing? Which I often enjoy, but I always like there being space to be like, well, what are your ideas? Like the models or even makeup artists jumping in and being like, wouldn't it be really cool if we gave this a go? That's the thing I love the most. I don't like want to be the person that's like, okay, this is exactly what we're doing. It's just creating a space where anything can happen, really.
Yeah. It really just like helps just capture the fun of photography, because it's so fun.
Yes,
I love it. You love it. It's just, I kind of get in my head sometimes, and when I'm thinking of a shoot and I think of the entire concept, and I forget that when I'm collaborating with model or fashion or anything, we're all having fun. It's just like a day out, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a reminder, and that also is like such a big thing for me when I turn always back to personal work, is like, this is a reminder that this thing is just meant to be really fun. We're meant to be enjoying it, and we're really lucky that we, you know, get to be able to do it as well.
A question I have, which I think would be great for a lot of younger photographers that are going to see this. Would you have any advice that you would have told your younger self about getting into the industry, or your journey and what you can expect and how, anything?
Yeah, wow. Well, look, I guess I didn't necessarily, it's weird to say, but like I didn't set out to be a photographer. It wasn't like I think it evolved into a dream of realizing like how, you know, great it could become, and like me kind of fully realizing like how expansive it could be and the people I could meet, which was all really exciting. But I guess had started out because I was the friend with the camera. I was shooting birthdays, and that propelled me into like what started out as I was just an event photographer, or I was an event photographer. And I guess that is something that I would stick by, is like it was in practice getting out and shooting as much as possible. It was through shooting events that I met a bunch of people that then got me to play around in portraiture and shooting a whole bunch of different things. So I think something that like young photographers can sometimes do is like put themselves in a box and be like, I just shoot this thing. But I think being able to, especially early on, what have you got to lose? Shoot pets, shoot products, I don't know, just do everything. Anything you can take a photo of, just do it and look at it, think about how, you know, you can make it better. And then only through that, I think you'll find what you really enjoy, and then also what you feel motivated to, if you do want to pursue a career in photography, how can you push it even further? How can you make it your own? So I think that for super early on days. And I think also just, it's the hardest bit sometimes is that reminder of like, do it for fun. Even when you do start working in the space, continually do it for fun. Because I think when you stop also shooting for yourself, it affects the work. It affects the work you produce.
Totally. You don't want it to feel just like a desk job. Like I want to get up and I want to feel joy when I'm working, and just feeling the inspiration we get. It's actually the best feeling as well. I love it, and when I look at your work, I feel that way. I want to get up and shoot. I want to get the shot.
It's so stupid.
Every creative story starts the same way, with someone deciding to try. So if this episode has sparked anything in you, I suggest following us. It helps us improve our growing community of photographers, filmmakers, and storytellers alike. And if you want to go a bit further, check out our website in our description. There you can submit your own stories on how you got the shot. And we may even write an article about it. All right, back to the episode.
So in addition to your beautiful stills, you do shoot music videos. Can you tell me a bit about that and your process and your inspiration?
Totally. I think video for me was absolutely like a bit of like a playground-esqueness. I mean, it's one button away on your camera, so it was always something that I enjoyed playing with for fun. And I would kind of shoot a lot of just fun little personal project videos. Within my stills, I was working, and I do work with a lot of musicians. So I guess through building relationships with them and them liking the style and liking the vision, they trusted me with shooting some music videos, which has just been really awesome. I think I mean, across both mediums, there's storytelling. So finding new ways that you can do that storytelling, I really enjoy. I've two recently that I think I had the most fun working on with an artist named Sammy Palinkas, who trusted me in doing some funny, crazy concepts. One where we fake stab a guy in a cake shop and put him in a boot. So just being able to do something that is kind of ridiculous. I think I like the practicalness as well of those kind of like run and gun music videos, and the intensity of them as well. So I think, it's a compliment to my craft. I think that, you know, there are absolutely incredible videographers and DPs, and that push and that drive in that space to make like these really beautiful cinematic and, you know, really cinema focused films that are kind of pushing the boundaries there are absolutely incredible. And I think I see video for me as, like if the images could move, which maybe is like how other video people see it. But yeah, mine's very much, it always starts as like a still image and what would it look like if it was moving. Yeah.
So you started off with stills and then got into video.
Yeah.
Video to me is so intimidating. I'm just a stills photographer. Do you have any advice for getting into video, or is it just like imagining your stills moving?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm definitely, like, video to me, and the reason why I make, I guess, the distinction between what I do and what then people that I absolutely respect in the video space is because, like, I see, like, the dedication that goes into, you know, perfecting your lighting, perfecting all of the technical side that goes into it. But I think that even with what I mentioned before about like how to get a start in it and just go out and shoot everything, I think I put that same logic to video, which is like, you know what, I might not really know what I'm doing, but I've got a story that I want to tell. I've got some people that are willing to help me out, and we can make this happen. So of course, having people you can ask questions, spend time on Reddit and figure out what's going on, all of that is going to be super, super helpful. But also, it just doesn't need to be perfect. I think we were mentioning before, right before the pod, like, anyone who knows shitty rigs, like, I love that stuff. The crazy things that I did even when I was making videos for myself. I remember when I was in high school, I really loved the idea of those, like, the hands-free shot, like when you can see like the subject's arms. So I drilled like 2 planks of wood into a bike helmet and like attached like a tripod bit to the front of a helmet with like a counterweight. It was ridiculous. Like, it was so heavy to have on your, it was ridiculous. It looked stupid. But it was like, how am I going to make this happen as like a 14-year-old with like a, I really want to try this shot because it'll be fun. And the example I gave before was like, yeah, you want a dolly, 2 skateboards and a tripod, done. Like, done. You got.
That is so hardcore. I love that. That's awesome.
So, yeah, in the start, and I think, I don't know, a fun way of shooting that way or trying to shoot that way is like, yeah, you know what, like, there's going to be hiccups. It might not look super polished, but I think it takes away a bit of like the ego that can come with the space in like how you're meant to shoot things and the right way to shoot things. If you're getting it done, like, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
You've just got to get the shot. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares about the equipment? Let me just do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just do it.
And that's. I feel like that's awesome for photographers and videographers starting off.
Yeah,
just do it.
Exactly. Like, I think the part of the conversation with a client that I get most excited about is often when they'll approach me and be like, because often I'm working with independent artists who go, I have this idea, but like, I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's practical. I don't have the budget to do it. And when you put in that situation, you have to think creatively about how you can make it happen. So, you know, if they want some like crazy elaborate location, like the amount of times I've been like driving around and I'll just like screenshot stuff on my map because I passed something that I'm like, that looks like what we need. You just call in favors. Think the thinking and the process behind it when you are doing the planning. I think that's when you have to be like, okay, how can we make this happen? Don't let yourself be limited by like, oh, I don't have the right gear, or I don't have access to a mansion, or I don't. Yeah, there's so many ways that you can make stuff happen.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I want to get up and shoot now. That's so cool. But I really thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. Do you have any projects you're looking forward to in the future, or you want to do? What are your goals?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm at like a fun kind of bit of full circle moment in my photography journey. So of course I mentioned before that I got my start out in events, and I guess there's always been like, I'll always jump in to do, I think it started off with people like really liked what I was doing in the editorial space. I do a wedding here or there. And I guess because a mix of like the demand and also it being just a really beautiful way of blending something that feels editorial and documentary, I recently launched a little side project to Bonn Creative, which is Bonn in Love. So that's been really fun to start, I guess, making some content for and sharing what I like weddings that I've shot over the years. With it being, kind of in my own style, in my own way that I like to do it. So that's been something really fun to have worked on. I think that's like the main thing at the moment. Of course, Bonn Creative keeps rolling. I've got some awesome fashion stuff coming up, which you might see. But yeah, that's me.
I can't wait to see more work from you.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been great.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I don't know how to end this, so thank you.